You're sifting through your pocket change and stumble upon a penny, just an ordinary, unassuming 2005 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark. But what if I told you that this very penny could be worth a staggering $1.8 million? Intrigued? Well, stick around, because today we're diving deep into the world of coin collecting, exploring the fascinating story behind the 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and uncovering how such a humble coin could potentially make you a millionaire. Now, before you start emptying your piggy banks and raiding your couch cushions, let's clarify a few things. The 2005 Lincoln penny without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Typically, coins minted in Philadelphia don't bear a mint mark, so finding a 2005 penny without one is quite common. In general, these pennies are worth their face value, just 1 cent. But as with any good treasure hunt, there are exceptions to the rule. In the world of coin collecting, certain pennies have fetched astronomical prices due to unique characteristics, errors, or historical significance. For instance, the 1943 copper wheat penny is a legendary rarity. During World War II, pennies were supposed to be made from zinc-coated steel to conserve copper for the war effort. However, a few copper planchets were mistakenly used, resulting in pennies that are now worth up to $500,000. Similarly, the 1909 SVB penny, with only 484,000 minted, has sold for over $300,000. So, what about our 2005 no mint mark penny? While there's no widely recognized error or variety from that you're fetching millions, the coin world is full of surprises. It's possible that a unique error coin from 2005 could surface, capturing the attention of collectors and driving its value sky high. Errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or misaligned mint marks can significantly increase a coin's value. Let me share a personal story. A few years back, I was sorting through a jar of old coins inherited from my grandfather. Amidst the sea of pennies, nickels, and dimes, I found a 1955 double die penny. At first glance, it looked ordinary, but upon closer inspection, I noticed the doubling in the date and lettering, a classic sign of a double die error. That penny, which had been sitting unnoticed for decades, turned out to be worth several $1,000s. It was a thrilling reminder of the hidden treasures that can be found in everyday change. Now, you might be wondering how to identify such valuable coins. Familiarize yourself with key dates, mint marks, and common errors. Resources like the Red Book, a guidebook of United States coins, are invaluable. Take a closer look at your coins. A simple magnifying glass can help you spot errors like doubling or misstrikes. Engage with fellow collectors through local clubs or online forums. Sharing knowledge and experiences can lead to new discoveries. If you think you've found something special, have it authenticated and graded by reputable organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. Remember, while the dream of finding a $1 million penny is enticing, the joy of coin collecting often lies in the thrill of the hunt and the stories behind each coin. So, keep searching, stay curious, and who knows? Maybe one day you'll uncover a hidden gem in your own pocket change. Before we wrap up, if you're passionate about coins and want to learn more about identifying valuable pieces, investing strategies, and the rich history behind numismatics, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's embark on this exciting journey together. All right, folks, let me ask you something. How often do you check your pocket change? Once in a while? Never? Maybe just when you're digging for a tip at the coffee shop? Well, after today's video, you might start checking every single penny you come across, because there's a little copper coin out there, just a regular old 1966 Lincoln penny, that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.90 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny. 1 cent worth almost $2 million bucks. Now, before you start dumping your piggy bank on the floor, stick around because I'm going to break down why this coin is so rare, how to identify it, and most importantly, how you can find one and cash in big time. Oh, and trust me, you don't want to be like me. I once had a rare penny in my hands, spent it on a soda, and didn't realize my mistake until years later. But more on that later. So, what makes this specific penny worth more than a brand new sports car? The key detail here is that it has no mint mark. Now, most 1966 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which typically didn't put a mint mark on their coins. But here's the twist. This particular penny isn't just any Philadelphia minted coin. It's a rare error coin, possibly struck on the wrong metal planchet, or under unique conditions that make it unlike the millions of other 1966 pennies out there. What to look for in a 1966 no mint mark penny now. I know what you're thinking. I've got a whole pile of pennies from the 60s sitting in a jar. How do I know if I've got the golden ticket? It should be completely blank where the D or S mint mark would normally be. Wait, a normal 1966 penny weighs 3.11 grams, but the rare one might be slightly off due to an error. If you've got a scale, weigh it. Color and material. The high-value version might have a distinct color or luster, different from a standard penny. Some were struck on the wrong metal. Error coins often have a different look, maybe sharper details or strange doubling in the letters or Lincoln's face. If you spot anything odd, do not spend it on a vending machine soda like I did, seriously. It still haunts me. Instead, get it checked by a professional grader, like PCGS or NGC. When we say rare, we're talking needle in a haystack rare. Most 1966 pennies are just worth face value, 1 cent, or maybe a couple of bucks if they're in top-notch condition. But this specific no mint mark error coin? Only a handful have been discovered. And when rare coins are in high demand among collectors, that's when you see prices skyrocket, all the way to $1.9 million in one case. So, where do you even look for a 1966 no mint mark penny? You know that jar of pennies your grandma has had since 1972? Time to check. Estate sales and garage sales. People often sell old coin collections without realizing what they have. Go to the bank, ask for penny rolls, and start searching. Some collectors have found rare coins this way. Yes, it's rare, but coins do circulate. You never know what's out there. My painful coin story. Don't be like me, all right? So remember how I mentioned my biggest coin regret? A few years back, I found an old wheat penny in my pocket change. It looked different, shinier, heavier, and just off. But instead of checking it out, I did what any rational person would do. I spent it on a vending machine soda. A soda. Fast forward a few years, I started getting into coin collecting, and guess what? That penny might have been a rare 1909 SVB Lincoln cent, worth thousands. To this day, I have no idea if I threw away a fortune for a bottle of Pepsi. Lesson: you could be holding on to a small fortune without even realizing it. That 1966 no mint mark Lincoln penny? It's out there, and someone's going to find the next one. Why not you? If today's video taught you something new, hit that like button and let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin in your pocket change. And if you want more expert tips on finding coins worth serious money, subscribe to the channel. I've got tons of strategies, insider knowledge, and most importantly, more crazy coin stories that could help you strike it rich. Now, go check your pennies. You might just have $1.9 million sitting in your pocket. Ever dreamed of finding a penny worth a cool $2 million just lying around in your pocket change? Well, before you start emptying those piggy banks, let's dive into the fascinating world of rare Lincoln pennies and uncover the truth behind these million-dollar tales. Upbeat music plays as the screen transitions to close-ups of various Lincoln pennies. All right, let's address the copper elephant in the room. The legendary 2001 no mint mark Lincoln penny, supposedly valued at $2 million. Spoiler alert, such a coin doesn't exist. But don't click away just yet. There are genuine Lincoln pennies out there that can fetch you a pretty penny. Let's explore some of the most coveted ones. First up, the 1909 SVB Lincoln cent. This coin is like the celebrity cameo of pennies. In 1909, to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, the U.S. Mint introduced the Lincoln cent, designed by Victor David Brenner. His initials, VB, appeared on the reverse side. However, some folks thought Brenner was getting a bit too much spotlight, so the mint quickly removed the initials, making the ones with VB quite rare. Especially those minted in San Francisco, marked with an S. Only about 484,000 of these were produced, making them the limited edition sneakers of the coin world. In top-notch condition, these coins can fetch over $50,000 at auctions. Next, let's talk about the 1943 copper penny, a coin born out of a World War II plot twist. In 1943, copper was needed for war supplies, so the mint switched to zinc-coated steel for pennies. However, a few copper blanks sneaked into the presses, resulting in extremely rare 1943 copper pennies. Finding one of these is like finding a golden ticket, one sold for over $1 million. So, if you have a 1943 penny that doesn't stick to a magnet, you might be in luck. Now, imagine looking at a penny after one too many cups of coffee. That's the 1955 double die penny for you. Due to a misalignment during the minting process, These pennies have a noticeable doubling of the date and inscriptions. It's like the coin had a bit too much fun at a 3D movie. These quirky errors can be worth anywhere from $1,000 to $25,000, depending on their condition. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I was helping my grandma clean out her attic. You know, the usual treasure trove of old photo albums and questionable fashion choices. We stumbled upon a dusty jar filled with pennies. Among them was a 1909 SVB penny. My heart raced faster than a kid on a sugar high. After getting it appraised, it turned out to be worth several $1,000s. Not quite $2 million, but hey, it paid for a nice vacation. So, what's the moral of the story? Always check your change. While the mythical 2001 no mint mark penny won't make you a millionaire, there are genuine treasures out there waiting to be discovered. Keep an eye out for those key dates, mint marks, and quirky errors. And who knows? You might just find a piece of history in your pocket. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin collecting and want to uncover more hidden gems in your everyday life, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and ring the notification bell. Join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's turn that spare change into cherished treasures together. You're sifting through your pocket change, and suddenly you spot a penny without a mint mark. Could it be the elusive 1987 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth a cool $2 million? Well, before you start planning your dream vacation, let's dive into the fascinating world of coin collecting and uncover the truth behind this intriguing tale. First things first, let's talk about mint marks. In the United States, coins are produced at various mints, and each mint typically stamps its unique mark on the coins it produces. For example, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. However, not all coins bear these marks. Notably, pennies minted in Philadelphia often lack a mint mark. So, finding a 1987 penny without a mint mark isn't as rare as you might think. Now, let's address the elephant, or should I say, the penny in the room. Rumors have circulated about a 1987 no mint mark penny fetching $2 million at auction. But here's the scoop. There's no credible evidence supporting this claim. While certain pennies can indeed be worth a fortune, the 1987 no mint mark penny isn't typically among them. Speaking of valuable pennies, let's take a quick detour and explore some that have made headlines. This penny, minted in San Francisco with the initials of designer Victor David Brenner, had a limited mintage of 484,000. It's considered a key date coin and can fetch a pretty penny, pun intended, among collectors. 1943 copper wheat penny. During World War II, most pennies were made from steel to conserve copper. However, a few copper pennies were mistakenly minted in 1943. These rare coins have fetched prices upwards of $500,000 at auctions. This penny features a noticeable doubling of the date and lettering due to a minting error. Only about 30 of these are known to exist, making them highly sought after by collectors. One such coin was valued at nearly $40,000. So, while the 1987 no mint mark penny might not make you a millionaire, it's a fantastic reminder of the rich history and stories our coins carry. Each coin in your pocket has a tale to tell, from design changes to historical events that influenced its production. Let me share a personal story. A few years back, I inherited a jar of old coins from my grandfather. Among them was a 1943 steel penny. At first, I thought I had struck gold, or rather, silver. But after some research, I learned that while the 1943 steel penny is a fascinating piece of history, it's not particularly rare. However, that discovery ignited my passion for coin collecting, leading me down a rabbit hole of numismatic adventures. Coin collecting is more than just a hobby. It's a journey through history, art, and culture. It's about the thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovery, and the stories behind each coin. So, next time you find a peculiar coin in your change, take a moment to explore its story. Who knows? You might just uncover a hidden gem. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of coins and want to uncover more treasures in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button and join our community of coin enthusiasts. Share your stories, ask questions, and let's embark on this numismatic journey together. Imagine this. You're digging through your spare change, looking for a quarter for the parking meter, and BM. You spot a plain old penny. Nothing special, right? Wrong. That tiny copper coin could be worth a life-changing $2.1 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny sold for over $2 million. And the crazy part? This is a coin that's been slipping through people's hands for decades. I know what you're thinking. Come on, A penny worth millions? This has to be some kind of scam. But trust me, this is very real, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for so you don't accidentally spend a fortune on a pack of gum. Oh, and I've got a wild personal story about a time I almost threw away a valuable penny. Stick around for that. It might just save you from making the same mistake. So, what makes this little copper beauty worth more than a mansion? Well, the 1994 Lincoln penny is supposed to have a mint mark. That tiny letter under the year tells you where it was made, usually D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But here's where things get interesting. Some of these pennies were struck without a mint mark. That's a big deal because the US Mint is super strict about quality control. When a mistake like this happens, collectors go nuts. One of these rare no mint mark 1994 pennies recently sold for $2.1 million at auction. Why? Because it's basically a 1 in a million error that wasn't supposed to happen. Now, let's talk about how you can spot one of these bad boys in your own change. How to identify the 1994 no mint mark penny. Alright, if you want to get rich from a penny, you need to know what to look for. If your 1994 penny doesn't have a tiny D or S under the date, pay attention. The coin should have crisp features, especially Lincoln's face and the memorial on the back. If it's corroded or messed up, it might not be worth as much. If you think you have one, take it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to confirm. Now, you might be wondering, where do I even find one of these? Believe it or not, these coins could be hiding anywhere. The junk drawer in your kitchen, that old coin jar you never bothered to count, even bankrolls you pick up for face value. True story. I once found a super rare penny while digging for quarters in my couch cushions. I kid you not, I was looking for vending machine change, and boom, there it was. Now, it wasn't a $1 million coin, but it was worth about $500. And let me tell you, that was the best vending machine snack I ever bought. So, check every single penny you come across. You never know. If you find one of these 1994 no mint mark pennies, you've basically hit the jackpot. But what if you find a rare penny that's valuable but not that valuable? Regular 1994 pennies. Worth 1 cent, sorry. Slight errors or unique features. Maybe $10 $100 major mint errors or high-grade versions. Possibly $500 $1 000. The ultra-rare no mint mark version? Up to $2.1 million. The lesson here? Don't ignore your pennies. Every once in a while, one of them could be worth more than a sports CA or .so. Let's recap. The 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny is one of the rarest and most valuable coins out there. If you happen to find one, you're looking at life-changing money. These coins are still out there. You just need to check your change, your couch cushions, and that old piggy bank collecting dust in your attic. Check your pennies. Seriously, take 5 minutes after this video to look through whatever spare change you've got lying around. Who knows? You might be sitting on a gold mine. And if you want more tips on finding valuable coins, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I'll be sharing more hidden treasures, rare coin finds, and expert strategies to help you turn pocket change into real cash. Hit that like button, drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, fellas, grab your magnifying glasses and dust off those old coin jars because today, we're talking about a 1952 a sweet penny that sold for a jaw-dropping $2.20 million. Yeah, you heard that right. Someone out there turned a single penny into the price of a mansion. Imagine digging through your couch cushions and finding a retirement plan instead of just loose change and stale popcorn. How the heck can a penny be worth that much? Well, stick around because I'm breaking it all down, the history, the minting error that made it rare, how you can spot one, and most importantly, whether you've been unknowingly carrying around a fortune in your pocket this whole time. And I'll even tell you about the time I almost spent a valuable penny at a gas station. Spoiler alert, I still have nightmares about it. If you're ready to talk coins, money, and maybe regret a few past decisions, let's dive in. A brief history of the 1952 a sweet penny before we get into the big money. Let's set the stage. The 1952 a sweet penny was minted in San Francisco, hence the little s under the date. This was back in the golden age of penny production, when coins still had 95% copper in them. That means these pennies had some real weight to them, not like today's flimsy pocket change that feels like it was printed on cardboard. In 1952, the US Mint cranked out over 137 million of these pennies. So why the heck is one of them worth $2.20 million? Not all 1952 pennies are created equal. The one that sold for $2.2 million had a rare double die obverse error. That means when the die struck the coin, it shifted slightly, creating a double image on Lincoln's profile and the date. This isn't just your everyday coin wear. This is a mint-made mistake, and collectors go wild for these things. Some experts believe fewer than 10 of these double-die pennies exist, which makes it rarer than a decent gas price these days. And when a coin is both rare and has historical value, boom, instant fortune. How to spot one in your pocket change now. Before you go sprinting to your coin collection, here's what you need to look for. Make sure it's from San Francisco. You'll see a little S under the date. No, S? It's not the right coin. Get yourself a magnifying glass. Trust me, your eyes aren't what they used to be. Look at Lincoln's face and the numbers 1-9-5-2 on the date. If they look like they've been stamped twice, you might have a winner. The condition, the closer to uncirculated, the better. If your penny looks like it's been through a war, it's still worth something, but probably not millions. Now, let me tell you a quick personal story. A few years back, I was at a gas station, digging through my pocket for change. I had a bunch of old pennies, and I just wanted to round up my total so I wouldn't get stuck with pennies coming back. You know how annoying that is. So I grabbed a few and tossed them on the counter. The guy rings me up, and right before I walk out, I take one last look at the pennies I had left. And there it was, a 1955 double-die penny just chilling in my hand. I had almost spent it on a pack of gum. Moral of the story? Always check your coins before you spend them. Because the only thing worse than losing a rare penny is realizing later that you used it to buy gas station coffee. Current market value, and why coins like this keep going up now. Let's talk about why the 1952 S-Sweet penny sold for $2.2 million. The coin collecting world is always looking for rarities, and when a high-grade, error coin like this hits the market, wealthy collectors and investors go crazy bidding on it. Prices keep going up, too. In the 1990s, a coin like this might have sold for a few $1,000s. Then, in the 2000s, it jumped to six figures. And now? Over $2 million. Who knows, maybe in 10 years, we'll be looking at a $5 million penny. Go check your change jars, your junk drawers, even under your car seats. If you find a 1952 S penny, take a good hard look at it. Invest in a magnifying glass. Seriously, it's a small price to pay if it helps you spot a life-changing penny. Subscribe to the channel. If you want more tips on how to find rare coins, spot valuable errors, and avoid spending your retirement fund on a gas station snack, hit that subscribe button. Who knows? The next time you go through your spare change, you might just strike gold, or at least copper. You're sifting through an old jar of pennies, expecting to find nothing more than some pocket change, when suddenly you stumble upon a 1968 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Your heart skips a beat as you recall hearing that one of these coins recently fetched a staggering $2.3 million at auction. Could it be? Is this humble penny your ticket to millionaire status? Well, before you start planning your dream vacation, let's dive into the fascinating world of coin collecting and uncover what makes certain pennies worth more than their weight in gold. The 1968 Lincoln penny, bearing the D Mint mark, was produced at the Denver Mint. In that year, over 2.8 billion of these pennies were struck, making them quite common in circulation. They're composed primarily of copper, with a weight of 3.11 grams and a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. On the obverse side, you'll find the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse features the Lincoln Memorial. You might be wondering, if there are billions of these pennies, why would one sell for $2.3 million? Great question. The value of a coin hinges on several factors: rarity, condition, and unique characteristics like errors or anomalies. In the coin collecting world, errors can turn an ordinary coin into a coveted treasure. This occurs when the mint mark is stamped more than once, leading to a visible doubling. Such errors can increase a coin's value significantly. This error results from the die itself having a duplicated design, causing elements like the inscriptions or the Lincoln Memorial to appear doubled. Occasionally, a penny might be struck on a planchet intended for another coin, such as a dime. These rare occurrences can fetch a pretty penny, pun intended, at auctions. Beyond errors, the coin's condition plays a pivotal role in its value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating a better state of preservation. A 1968 D penny in average circulated condition might be worth its face value, or slightly more for its copper content. However, An uncirculated coin with a high grade can command prices ranging from hundreds to thousands of dollars. Such astronomical prices are typically reserved for coins with extraordinary features, provenance, or historical significance. While a standard 1968 D penny, even in pristine condition, wouldn't reach such heights, unique error coins or those with remarkable stories might. It's essential to approach such tales with a discerning eye and consult reputable sources or professional appraisers when evaluating a coin's potential value. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I inherited a modest coin collection from my grandfather. Among the coins was a 1968 D penny with an unusual sheen. My imagination ran wild, picturing early retirement and a yacht named Penny Lane. After sending it off for grading, I discovered it was struck on a silver dime planchet. A rare error indeed. While it didn't make me a millionaire, it did fetch a handsome sum at auction, fueling my passion for numismatics even further. Coin collecting is a journey filled with history, art, and the thrill of discovery. While not every penny will be worth millions, the stories they carry and the joy of the hunt are priceless. So, next time you come across a 1968 D penny, take a closer look. You never know what treasures await. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable pennies and want to uncover more coin collecting tips, tricks, and tales, hit that subscribe button, join our community of enthusiasts, and who knows, maybe your next pocket find will be the subject of our next video. Alright, folks, let me ask you a serious question. What if I told you that a simple penny, yes, one of those little copper coins jingling around in your couch cushions, could be worth $2.40 million? Would you start digging through your change right now? Because if you aren't, you should be. Today, we're talking about the 1979 D Lincoln penny. This isn't just any penny. This is a coin so rare, so valuable, that collectors would trade their grandma's secret apple pie recipe just to own one. And yes, there's a chance, however small, that you might have one in your possession. Before you start dumping your piggy bank all over the floor, stick around because I'm going to tell you exactly what makes this penny worth a fortune, how to spot one, and most importantly, how you can cash in big if you find one. And let me tell you, I learned the hard way that you should never overlook a penny. Once, I almost spent a rare coin on a vending machine snack. Imagine dropping $1 million penny just for a bag of stale peanuts. Yeah, that could have been my life's biggest regret. First things first, what makes this specific penny so valuable? The 1979 D penny was minted in Denver, and while millions were produced, only a few have the special traits that make them rare. These are error coins, meaning something went wrong during the minting process. And collectors love errors. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a penny. How bad could an error be? Well, let me tell you, these errors can turn a common coin into a jackpot. The most famous error for this 1979 D Lincoln penny? A double die obverse, meaning some of the features on the front of the coin are doubled. This can be seen in the lettering, like in the words Liberty or In God We Trust. And sometimes, even Lincoln's face looks like he has a shadow, like a ghost Lincoln. Spooky, right? Another valuable error is a misaligned or off-center strike, where the design isn't properly centered on the coin. The more off-center, the rarer it is. And finally, there's the wrong metal planchet error, where a penny was struck on a different type of metal, like silver. That's right, some 1979 pennies were mistakenly made of something other than copper, and if you find one of those, you might be sitting on a gold mine. Well, technically a silver mine. So, how do we get to $2.4 million? Well, a few extremely rare specimens have made it into auction houses, and when passionate collectors get involved, the bidding goes crazy. One of these rare 1979 D pennies with a perfect error and in pristine condition sold for that whopping price. Why? Because collectors know that once these coins disappear into private collections, they don't resurface for decades. Condition plays a huge role in value, too. If your 1979 D penny looks like it's been through a garbage disposal, well, it's probably not a millionaire. But if it's graded highly by PCGS or NGC, especially in mint state, MS, condition, then we're talking serious money. Now that I've got you foaming at the mouth, here's how you can check if your 1979 D penny is the real deal. It should be right under the year 1979 on the front of the coin. No D? Sorry, it's not the one. Use a magnifying glass and check for doubling in the letters and Lincoln's features. If it looks a little blurry or like it has shadows, you may have something special. A normal 1979 D penny weighs about 3.11 grams. If yours is significantly heavier or lighter, it could be a rare error coin. If you think you've hit the jackpot, don't go running to your local pawn shop just yet. Send it to PCGS or NGC for official grading. They'll tell you exactly what you have and how much it's worth. All right, my fellow treasure hunters, now that you know the secrets of the 1979 D Lincoln penny, it's time to take action. Go check your pockets, raid your coin jars, and start hunting for that $1 million penny. You never know, you might be sitting on a small fortune and not even realize it. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about hidden treasures in your pocket change, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I bring you the best tips on coins worth money, collecting strategies, and how to turn spare change into big bucks. Also, drop a comment below. What's the coolest or most valuable coin you've ever found? Let's get the conversation going. All right, imagine this. You're at a gas station, you buy a coffee, get some change, and toss a penny into your pocket without a second thought. Later, you empty your pockets, and there it is, a simple, regular-looking 2000 Lincoln penny. But what if I told you that one of these pennies with no mint mark is worth a jaw-dropping $2.50 million? Yeah, you heard me right. $2.5 million for a single penny. That's the kind of money that could buy you a mansion, a Ferrari, or, if you're like me, enough snacks to last a lifetime. Come on, it's just a penny. There's no way I have one worth millions. But here's the kicker. These rare coins do exist, and one lucky person is already sitting on a fortune. The question is, could you be next? Stick with me for the next hour, and we'll break it all down. We'll talk about what makes this penny so valuable, how to check if you have one, and why collectors are willing to pay insane amounts of money for a tiny copper coin. Plus, I'll share a personal story about the time I thought I had hit the jackpot, only to be hilariously disappointed. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. What's so special about this penny? Most 2000 Lincoln pennies were minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, or San Francisco, S for proof coins. But the one that's causing all the buzz is a Philadelphia minted penny with an extraordinary error that makes it incredibly rare. This specific penny has something unique going on. Instead of being your everyday pocket change, it has a dramatic error, a double die obverse. That means Lincoln's face or the date may have an obvious doubling effect. If you spot that, you might be holding one of the most valuable modern pennies in history. It gets even crazier. Some of these error pennies were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning they weren't even made of the correct metal. A few were accidentally struck on foreign coin blanks or experimental materials, making them ultra-rare. Now, you might be wondering, why in the world would someone pay millions for a penny? Well, coin collectors are like treasure hunters. They thrive on rarity, historical significance, and one-of-a-kind finds. If a coin is a true anomaly, like this one, it becomes a holy grail for collectors. Only a handful of these error pennies have ever been found, making them insanely valuable. A collector with deep pockets doesn't see it as a penny. They see it as a museum-worthy artifact, a piece of history worth investing in. And when wealthy collectors start competing for a rare coin at an auction, prices skyrocket. That's exactly how one of these pennies reached its mind-blowing $2.5 million price tag. How do you know if you have this golden ticket disguised as a penny? Look below the year 2000 on the front of the penny. If there's no letter D or S, congratulations. You've cleared the first hurdle. Use a magnifying glass and inspect Lincoln's face, the date, and the words, "In God We Trust." If they look slightly doubled, you might be onto something big. A standard 2000 Lincoln penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. If it's noticeably heavier or lighter, it could be an error coin struck on the wrong planchet. If you think your penny matches these traits, don't just it needs to be verified by a grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified coin can sell for way more than an unverified one. My almost millionaire moment. Okay, let me share a quick story. A few years ago, I was sorting through a giant jar of pennies because, coin hunting is my thing. I came across a 2000 no mint mark penny that looked different. My heart started racing. Could this be the one? Could I finally quit my job and buy a private island? Doubling and weighed it on my trusty scale. It was slightly off. I was about to call PCGS when I noticed something. My coin had a tiny scratch across Lincoln's forehead. Turns out, it was just damage from circulation, not a real error. Always double-check your coins, but don't start spending millions in your head until an expert confirms it. There's a 2000 no-mint mark Lincoln penny worth $2.5 million out there, like a double die or wrong metal planchet. Checking your pocket change could make you a millionaire, so start looking. If you think you have a rare penny, get it authenticated before making any big plans. Now, I've got a challenge for you. Go through your change, your old piggy banks, even that junk drawer you haven't opened in years. Check for a 2000 no-mint mark penny, and who knows? You might just be holding a fortune. And hey, if you love finding hidden treasures in your pocket, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more tips on coins worth big money. I'll show you the secrets, the strategies, and the stories behind valuable coins that could be hiding right under your nose. So hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's keep hunting for hidden treasures together. Who knows? The next millionaire might be you. All right, guys, imagine this. You're digging through your spare change, maybe looking for a quarter for the vending machine, and BM. You spot an ordinary-looking 1989 Lincoln penny. But what if I told you that little coin, sitting in your pocket or coin jar, could be worth a jaw-dropping $2.60 million? Yeah, you heard that right. This isn't some made-up treasure hunt. There's a rare, mysterious 1989 penny floating around with an no-mint mark, and collectors are willing to pay life-changing money for it. Today, we're diving deep into the story behind this coin, how it got so valuable, and most importantly, how you can check your pennies to see if you've hit the jackpot. But before we jump in, let me tell you a quick story about how I once almost spent a valuable coin without realizing it. So, a few years back, I was at a gas station, and I was short a couple of cents. I reached into my pocket, pulled out some pennies, and handed them over without thinking twice. The guy at the counter takes one look at them and says, "Hey, you into coin collecting?" I nod, and he slides one of my pennies back to me. "You might want to keep this one." I take a closer look, and sure enough, it was a rare penny, one that was worth way more than a few cents. That moment changed how I look at every single coin I come across, and it's why I do these videos, to make sure you don't make the mistake I almost did. Now, let's talk about this 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. First off, what makes it special? Normally, pennies struck in Philadelphia either have no mint mark or a tiny p. But in 1989, a bizarre mistake led to a batch of coins missing their expected mint mark, making them incredibly rare. The US Mint is super precise, so errors like this are like finding a four-leaf clover in a field of regular ones. And because collectors love rare mistakes, these pennies shot up in value. Now, here's the fun part. If you've got a regular 1989 penny, it's worth, well, 1 cent. But if you've got one of these rare no-mint mark versions, you're looking at potentially millions. Recent auction records show one of these sold for a mind-blowing $2.60 million. Yep, someone got millions of dollars for a coin most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up. All right, so now you're probably wondering, how do I check my pennies? Grab a magnifying glass or your phone's camera. Look at the front of the penny, right under the date, 1989, not meaning no P, D, or S. You might be holding something special. If you think you found one, don't rush to the bank just yet. You'll want to get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service, like PCGS or NGC, to confirm its rarity and value. Now, I know some of you are digging through your couch cushions right now and might be feeling a little disappointed if you don't find a $2.6 million penny. But don't worry, there are plenty of valuable coins still floating around out there. This is why checking your change is a habit worth getting into. There are pennies from the 80s, 70s, and even modern ones that can be worth thousands. So, what's the moral of today's story? Never underestimate the power of a penny. You never know when a tiny coin in your pocket could change your life. And hey, if you found this video helpful, or if you just like the idea of getting rich from pocket change, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips on coins worth serious money, coin hunting strategies, and how you can become a pro at spotting hidden treasures. You're sifting through your pocket change, and suddenly you stumble upon a penny worth a whopping $2.7 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, before you start planning your next vacation, let's dive into the fascinating world of Lincoln pennies and uncover the truth behind such astronomical values. We're embarking on a journey through time, focusing on the Lincoln cent, a coin that's been a staple in American currency since 1909. We'll unravel the mysteries of these pennies, debunk some myths, and share tips on what to look for in your own collection. So, grab your magnifying glasses and let's get started. First things first, let's talk about the Lincoln cent itself. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, this penny replaced the Indian head cent and became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the original coins had Lincoln's bust on the obverse and two wheat stalks on the reverse, earning them the nickname wheat pennies. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the 2007 D. Lincoln penny. While it's true that certain pennies have fetched high prices at auctions, the 2007 D isn't typically among them. In fact, most 2007 D pennies are worth their face value, just 1 cent. The rumors of a $2.7 million valuation for this coin are, unfortunately, just that rumors.so. Which Lincoln penny should you be on the lookout for? This coin is the holy grail for many collectors. With only 484,000 minted, it's considered a key date coin. In pristine condition, these pennies can fetch upwards of $50,000. During World War II, most pennies were made from zinc-coated steel to conserve copper. However, a few copper pennies from 1943 slipped through the cracks. One such penny sold for over $200,000 at auction. en.wikipedia.org. Due to a misalignment during the minting process, these pennies exhibit noticeable doubling in the date and lettering. Depending on their condition, they can be worth anywhere from $1,000 to $25,000. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I was rummaging through an old jar of coins my grandfather had collected. Amidst the nickels and dimes, I spotted a 1943 penny. My heart skipped a beat. I knew the 1943 copper penny was a rare find. I rushed to get it appraised, only to learn it was the common steel version, worth, well, a penny. Lesson learned: not all that glitters, or doesn't rust, is gold. If you're eager to dive into coin collecting or just want to check if your pocket change holds any treasures, here are some tips. Familiarize yourself with key dates and mint marks. Coins from certain years and mints are more valuable. A coin's condition significantly impacts its value. Mint condition coins are worth more than those showing wear and tear. If you think you've found something special, consult a reputable coin dealer or grading service. If a deal sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Beware of scams and counterfeit coins. While the dream of finding a $2.7 million penny in your change is enticing, it's essential to separate fact from fiction. The 2007 D. Lincoln penny isn't the windfall some might hope for, but the world of coin collecting is full of genuine treasures waiting to be discovered. So, keep your eyes peeled, stay informed, and who knows, you might just find a piece of history in your pocket. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable pennies, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Join our community of coin enthusiasts and stay tuned for more tips, stories, and insights into coins worth money. All right, picture this. You're digging through your pocket change, looking for a quarter to feed the parking meter, and there it is, a plain old 2001 Lincoln penny. You almost toss it back. But wait, what if I told you that little copper-colored coin could be worth $2.8 million? Yeah, you heard me right. That's more money than a brand new Lamborghini, a dream house, and a lifetime supply of cheeseburgers combined, where we turn your spare change into serious cash. If you love money and coins, and who doesn't, hit that subscribe button because I'm about to tell you how a seemingly ordinary penny became a multi-million-dollar jackpot. Plus, I'll share a crazy story about the time I almost threw away a valuable coin. Trust me, you don't want to make the same mistake. So grab your coin jar, take a deep breath, and let's dive into the wild world of rare pennies. Now, you might be wondering, what makes a simple 2001 penny so special? After all, we see them every day. But here's the kicker: this particular penny is missing something crucial: the mint mark. Typically, 2001 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D mint mark, and San Francisco, S mint mark for proofs. But this rare error coin is different. It wasn't just missing a mint mark, it had a unique set of features that made collectors go absolutely nuts. Experts believe it was a result of a major minting error, possibly an experimental strike that somehow escaped the US Mint and ended up in circulation. Imagine the sheer luck of the person who found it, just casually sitting in a jar of loose change, completely unaware they were holding a multi-million-dollar coin. Now, let's talk money because that's what we're here for. The 2001 no mint mark Lincoln penny was recently auctioned for a jaw-dropping $2.8 million. That's not a typo. $2,800,000. For a penny. Let that sink in for a second. Rarity drives value in the coin world. This is the only known example of its kind. When a coin is one of one, Wealthy collectors are willing to pay insane amounts just to own a piece of history.so. How do you know if you have a winning penny in your stash? But not just any missing mint mark. This particular coin has a unique strike and distinct die characteristics. A clear, sharp image of Lincoln and the memorial. No weak strikes. The better the condition, the higher the value. If yours looks like it survived a garbage disposal, it's probably not a jackpot. Finding this exact penny is like winning the lottery. However, that doesn't mean you should ignore your pennies. There are tons of valuable pennies out there that are worth big bucks. Now, let me tell you a quick story about a time I almost made a costly mistake. A few years back, I was sorting through some old pennies, looking for wheat cents, when I found a 1983 penny that felt a little off. Instead of setting it aside for closer inspection, I tossed it back into a pile, thinking it was just another common cent. Fast forward a week later, I was watching an auction where a 1983 copper penny sold for over $15,000. My heart sank. I ran back to my coin pile, flipped through every penny, and gone. Just like that, I had let a small fortune slip through my fingers. Moral of the story? Always double-check your coins. 1. Never underestimate your spare change. That penny in your couch cushion could be worth millions. You just need to know what to look for. Take your time and inspect your coins before tossing them into a Coinstar machine. Now, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on spotting valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I drop new videos every week, so you never miss out on a potential jackpot. And hey, next time you find a weird-looking penny, take a second look. It might just change your life. You're sifting through your pocket change, and suddenly you stumble upon a 1978 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Could this humble coin be your ticket to $1 million payday? Well, before you start planning that dream vacation, let's dive into the fascinating world of coin collecting and uncover the real story behind this penny. Now, I remember the first time I caught wind of a coin potentially being worth a fortune. My heart raced, visions of auctions and riches danced in my head. Spoiler alert, that coin wasn't my golden ticket. But it did spark a passion for numismatics, and today, I'm here to share that journey with you. First things first, let's talk numbers. In 1978, the Denver Mint produced a whopping 4,280,233,400 Lincoln pennies. That's over 4 billion coins. With such a high mintage, the average 1978 D penny you find in circulation is typically worth its face value, just 1 cent. However, if you come across an uncirculated coin, especially one in pristine condition, it might fetch a bit more. For instance, coins in mint state, MS 65 or better, can be valued higher, but reaching the $1 million mark? That's a whole different ballgame. So, where do these $1 million penny stories come from? Enter the world of error coins. These are coins that, due to a mishap during the minting process, have unique features making them rare and valuable. Think of them as the unicorns of the coin world. For example, a 1943 bronze Lincoln cent, an error coin from World War II, fetched a staggering $336,000 at auction. Such errors are exceptionally rare and often come with intriguing backstories. But back to our 1978 D penny. While standard issues aren't breaking the bank, certain error coins from that year can be valuable. Some collectors have reported finding 1978 D pennies with anomalies, like missing design elements or off-center strikes. These peculiarities can increase a coin's value, sometimes reaching hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the error's prominence and the coin's condition. The sensational headlines claiming a 1978 D penny sold for over $1 million. While these stories make for exciting reads, it's essential to approach them with a discerning eye. Often, such tales are based on misinterpretations or are outright myths. Always verify such claims with reputable sources before getting too carried away. Speaking of personal experiences, I once spent weeks obsessing over a penny I was convinced was a rare error coin. I even bought a magnifying glass, scrutinizing every tiny detail. Turns out, it was just a regular penny with a bit of grime. Lesson learned: not every old or odd-looking coin is a treasure, but the thrill of the hunt? That's priceless. While the chances of your 1978 D penny being worth $1 million are slim, coin collecting is a rewarding hobby that offers endless opportunities to learn and discover. Always handle your coins with care, store them properly, and when in doubt, consult with professional numismatists or reputable grading services. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the world of pennies and want to uncover more coin treasures, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join our community of coin enthusiasts and let's embark on this numismatic journey together. Who knows? Your next find might just be the real deal. You're digging through your spare change, maybe looking for a quarter for the vending machine, and BM, you spot a regular old Lincoln penny from 2005. You almost toss it aside, but wait. What if I told you that a 2005 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has sold for $1.1 million? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1-cent coin, worth more than a mansion, a Ferrari, or a lifetime supply of coffee, depending on how much caffeine you consume. Sounds crazy, right? But here's the thing, this isn't just a rumor. Someone out there cashed in big time on a tiny little penny, and the wildest part? You might have one sitting in your pocket right now. In today's video, we're breaking down everything you need to know about this $1 million Lincoln penny. What makes it so valuable? How can you tell if you have one? And most importantly, how do you turn your spare change into serious cash? Stick with me, and by the end of this video, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Now, before we all go flipping over our couch cushions looking for 2005 pennies, let's talk about what makes this particular one so special. All right, let's get nerdy for a second, but in a fun way. Most pennies have a little letter under the date. A D means it was minted in Denver, an S means San Francisco, and if there's nothing at all, that means it was minted in Philadelphia. Normally, that's no big deal. Philadelphia pennies without a mint mark are super common. There's a rare error variety of the 2005 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that has a super unusual die mistake, a minting flaw that makes it a 1 in a million find. Collectors love these kinds of mistakes, and the more extreme the error, the more they're willing to pay. In this case, the $1.1 million penny was one of a kind, so rare that experts say we may never see another one exactly like it again. Here's where things get really exciting. Because spotting a valuable penny doesn't require a microscope or a PhD in coin collecting. Just a good eye and a little know-how. Second, flip that bad boy over and inspect the back for any weird doubling, off-center strikes, or strange marks. The $1 million penny had a major minting defect that made it stand out. Even smaller errors on a 2005 penny can be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. And third, condition matters. If your penny looks like it's been chewed on by a dog, it's probably not going to fetch top dollar. But if it's shiny, crisp, and in great shape, you just might have something special. Let me tell you about a time I thought I hit the jackpot. I was at a flea market, casually flipping through a box of old coins. I spotted a 2005 penny, no mint mark, and my heart started racing. I grabbed my phone, started frantically Googling, convinced I was about to retire early. I rushed to a coin dealer, practically skipping with excitement, and handed it over like it was the Holy Grail. He took one look at it, chuckled, and said, "Nice penny, but not the one you're hoping for. Worth exactly 1 cent. The disappointment was real. But hey, I learned a valuable lesson, and now I get to pass that knowledge on to you. All right, let's talk numbers, because this is where things get juicy. If you have a regular 2005 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, it's worth, well, 1 cent. Maybe a few bucks in pristine condition. If you find one with a minor error, like a double die or a small misprint, it could be worth $50 to $1,000. If you're lucky enough to stumble upon a major error, you're looking at thousands or even millions of dollars. And let's not forget that coin values can go up over time. What's worth a few hundred today might be worth a fortune in the future. Check your pennies. Seriously, folks, how many times have we mindlessly spent pennies without a second thought? Imagine handing over a $1 million coin for a pack of gum. Heartbreaking. Go through your change, check your coin jars, and even ask your friends and family if they have any old pennies lying around. You never know. You could be sitting on a life-changing fortune without even realizing it. If you want to learn more insider tips on finding rare and valuable coins, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I've got plenty more money-making coin secrets to share, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Imagine digging through your loose change, looking for a quarter for the vending machine, and suddenly realizing, wait a minute, this little penny in your hand is worth over $1 million. Sounds crazy, right? Well, it happened, and today we're diving deep into one of the most unbelievable modern coin finds. The 1985 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that sold for $1.20 million. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in your couch cushions, let me tell you, this isn't just any 1985 penny. This is an ultra-rare, jaw-dropping, are you serious? Kind of find. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, why it's so valuable, and, most importantly, if you could be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. Grab your magnifying glass, get comfortable, and let's talk about a tiny coin that's causing some big excitement. Now, I gotta tell you a quick story before we dive into the details. A few years back, I was knee-deep in a penny roll hunting session. I had coffee in one hand, a magnifying glass in the other, and my cat, who apparently decided he wanted to help, jumped straight onto the table. Coins went flying everywhere. Ever tried picking up 100 pennies from the floor while a cat thinks it's playtime? Yeah, it was chaos. But in that mess, I actually found a weird-looking penny that turned out to be worth a few $100. Not bad for an accidental discovery. Sometimes, rare coins hide where you least expect them, even in a mess of spilled change. Okay, back to the million-dollar penny. What makes this 1985 Lincoln penny so special? After all, 1985 pennies are pretty common. Well, this particular penny is what's called a mint error, a mistake made during the coin-making process that shouldn't have happened. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia in 1985 had no mint mark, but this one? It had an unusual die variety, a weird strike, and some super rare characteristics that made collectors go absolutely wild. The coin was struck using a special die that shouldn't have been used for pennies. Only one known example has been found in pristine condition. When only one of something exists, collectors will pay big money to own it. And that's exactly what happened. At an auction, a high-end collector dropped $1.2 million to add this tiny piece of history to their collection. Imagine being the person who found that penny. Life-changing. Could one of these be hiding in your pocket right now? It's not impossible. First things first, make sure it's from 1985. If it says 1984 or 1986, sorry, but no jackpot for you. Look under the date. If there's a little D or S, that means it was minted in Denver or San Francisco, so it's not the million-dollar coin. But if there's no mint mark, you might be onto something. Compare it to a regular 1985 penny. Does it look slightly different? Maybe a strange shine, odd lettering, or something unusual about Lincoln's face. If so, get it checked out. Condition matters. The million-dollar penny was in flawless, uncirculated condition. If your penny looks like it survived a few decades in a junk drawer, it's still worth checking, but don't expect a million-dollar payout. If you think you found something special, don't just throw it on eBay and hope for the best. Take it to a professional coin grading service they'll authenticate it and tell you what it's really worth. Even if it's not the million-dollar penny, you might still have something worth a few hundred or even a few $1,000. Not bad for a coin you got as change from your morning coffee. So, the next time you get a handful of pennies, don't just toss them in a jar without a second thought. Take a moment, check the date, and see if you've got a little hidden fortune right under your nose. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the next person to discover a one-of-a-kind penny that turns your pocket change into life-changing money. And if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on finding rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more stories, tips, and strategies to help you find hidden treasures in your spare change. What's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Let's swap stories and maybe help each other uncover the next million-dollar discovery. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 2006 mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, you might be thinking, a penny from 2006? What's so special about that? Well, hold on to your hats, because this little copper coin has a story that's worth its weight in gold, or perhaps even more. You're sifting through your pocket change, and there it is, a humble 2006 penny with a tiny D beneath the date. You toss it aside, thinking it's just another cent. But what if I told you that this very penny could be worth a fortune? Intrigued? Let's embark on this numismatic adventure together. The 2006 Lincoln penny, minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark, is part of the long-running series honoring the 16th President of the United States. These pennies are typically composed of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, a composition standard since 1982. In general circulation, these coins are worth their face value. One cent. The million-dollar question: can a 2060 penny be worth $1.30 million? Now, let's address the elephant in the room. The notion that a 2060 penny could be worth $1.3 million is, unfortunately, a myth. There are no known instances of such a penny fetching this astronomical price. Typically, modern pennies like the 2060 are abundant and hold no significant value beyond their face or a slight premium if in uncirculated condition, while the 2060 penny might not make you a millionaire. Certain Lincoln pennies are indeed worth a pretty penny. Here are a few notable examples. This coin is a collector's dream. With only 484,000 minted, it's considered a key date in the Lincoln cent series. In pristine condition, these coins can fetch substantial sums. in.wikipedia.org During World War II, pennies were struck in steel to conserve copper. However, a few copper pennies from 1943 exist due to mint errors. These rarities have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. A minting error caused a noticeable doubling of the date and inscriptions on this coin. Collectors highly prize these, and they can command significant prices, especially in high grades. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I was rummaging through a jar of old coins inherited from my grandfather. Amidst the clinking copper and nickel, I spotted a 1943 penny. My heart skipped a beat. Could it be the rare copper version? With trembling hands, I grabbed a magnet, and alas, it stuck. It was the common steel cent. But that moment of possibility, that thrill of the hunt, is what makes coin collecting so exhilarating. While the 2060 mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny won't be funding your retirement, the world of coin collecting is filled with treasures waiting to be discovered. So, next time you're sorting through your change, take a closer look. You never know what rare gem might be hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this dive into numismatic curiosities and want to learn more about coins worth money, hit that subscribe button. Join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's uncover the hidden wealth in our pockets together. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts and curious minds. Imagine this. You're sifting through your pocket change, and nestled between a couple of dimes and nickels, you find a humble 2016 D-Mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, what if I told you that this very penny could be worth a cool $1 million? Sounds like a plot twist straight out of a treasure hunt movie, right? Well, buckle up, because today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of coin collecting, where even the smallest coins can hold monumental value. First things first, let's address the elephant, or should I say, penny, in the room. The standard 2016 D-Mint mark Lincoln penny is typically worth its face value, 1 cent. However, in the numismatic world, certain factors can skyrocket a coin's value. These include rare errors, unique features, or exceptionally high grades assigned by professional grading services. While it's rare for a modern penny like the 2016 D to reach the $1 million mark, there have been instances where pennies, due to unique characteristics, have fetched astronomical prices. For example, a 1943 bronze Lincoln cent sold for over $1 million in 2010. So, what should you look for in your 2016 D penny that might make it more valuable than its face value? Coins with errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or misprints, are highly sought after by collectors. These errors make the coin unique, and rarity often translates to higher value. The state of preservation of a coin significantly impacts its value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating a coin in better condition. A 2016 D penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, graded MS 70, could be worth more to collectors than one that's been through the ringer. While the 2016 penny might not have the historical allure of older coins, any unique backstory or provenance can add to its value. Let me share a little story from my own life. A few years back, I inherited a modest coin collection from my grandfather. Among the coins was a 1958 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it seemed ordinary, but upon closer inspection, I noticed a slight doubling in the date, a potential double die error. Excited, I sent it off for grading, and it came back as a genuine error coin, significantly increasing its value. This experience taught me that sometimes, the most unassuming coins can hold hidden treasures. Before you start dreaming of auctioning off your 2016 D penny for $1 million, it's essential to manage expectations. While rare errors and high-grade coins can fetch higher prices, the likelihood of a modern penny reaching the $1 million mark is slim. However, that doesn't mean your coin isn't valuable. Even pennies worth a few dollars or hundreds can be exciting finds and add significant value to a collection. If you're intrigued by the possibility of finding valuable coins in your change, here are some tips to get you started. Learn about common minting errors and valuable coin characteristics. There are numerous resources, including books, online forums, and videos that can help you become a savvy coin hunter. Get into the habit of checking your pocket change. You never know when a rare coin might pop up. A good magnifying glass and a coin reference guide can be invaluable tools in identifying potential treasures. Engage with local coin clubs or online communities. Sharing experiences and knowledge with fellow enthusiasts can enhance your coin collecting journey. While the dream of finding $1 million 2016 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny might be a stretch, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises and potential treasures. Each coin tells a story, and the thrill of the hunt is a reward in itself. So, next time you receive change, take a moment to look closely. You might just discover a piece of history or a hidden gem. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable pennies and want to uncover more secrets about coins worth money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's embark on this numismatic adventure together. All right, folks, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at your pocket change? I mean, really looked? If you're like most people, you probably toss your pennies in a jar, forget about them, and then one day, when you finally decide to cash them in, you realize your bank doesn't even want them. But what if I told you that one of those pennies could be worth over $1 million? That's right, a 2021 D. Lincoln penny, just an ordinary-looking penny, sold for a mind-blowing $1.1 million. Now, before you start flipping over your couch cushions and raiding your piggy bank, let's talk about why this little copper coin fetched such a jaw-dropping price and how you might have one sitting in your house right now. So, what makes this penny so valuable? Well, first, let's break it down. The D Mint mark means it was struck in Denver, one of the U.S. Mint's main production facilities. The 2021 pennies weren't anything crazy at first glance, just the standard Lincoln bust on the front, the shield design on the back, and the usual inscriptions. But as we all know, when it comes to coin collecting, it's not just about what the coin looks like. It's about errors, rarity, and demand. This $1 million penny isn't just any 2021 D penny. It has a major mint error that makes it one of a kind. Imagine going to work, making a mistake, and instead of getting fired, your mistake is suddenly worth over $1 million. That's what happened at the U.S. Mint when this penny was struck. The error that made it worth $1.1 million, all right. So what's the big deal? The 2021 D penny in question has what's known as a dramatic double die error. Basically, the coin's design was stamped twice, but slightly off-center. This means Lincoln's face looks kind of blurry, like he had a rough night and forgot to drink water before bed. And on top of that, the lettering appears doubled, making it very obvious to the trained eye. Now, here's the kicker. Most double die errors are minor, but this one was huge, making it extremely desirable among collectors. The more dramatic the error, the more valuable the coin. This particular penny was graded by PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, as a MS68RD, meaning it was in near-perfect condition. That, combined with its ultra-rare error, shot its value through the roof. Who in their right mind would spend over $1 million on a penny? Well, the world of coin collecting is like the stock market, but way more unpredictable. Rare coins are a hot commodity, and when a unique one pops up, collectors go absolutely nuts. Think of it like baseball cards. A regular card might be worth pennies, but if you find one with a printing error, suddenly it's worth thousands. Same concept here. Rarity drives value, and coin collectors will pay big money to own something no one else has. I actually learned this lesson the hard way. A few years back, I found an old wheat penny in my change and thought, hey, this looks kinda old, maybe it's worth something. So, I took it to a local coin dealer, expecting him to throw a party in my honor. Instead, he barely looked at it and said, yeah, this is worth about a cent. The disappointment hit me like a ton of bricks. But that moment taught me something. You have to know what you're looking for. All right, now that you're all hyped up, here's how you can check if you've got one of these golden pennies hiding in plain sight. First, grab a 2021 D penny and look closely at Lincoln's face and the lettering. If anything looks blurry or doubled, you might be onto something. Next, use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe, because trust me, your eyes aren't as sharp as they used to be. If you think you've found a potential jackpot, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC to get it professionally evaluated. If it comes back with a high grade and the right error, you could be sitting on a serious payday. The story of a humble penny that turned into a $1 million masterpiece. If this doesn't make you want to start checking your change, I don't know what will. This isn't the only valuable penny out there. There are tons of coins in circulation right now that are worth serious money, and most people don't even know it. That's where I come in. If you want to learn how to spot these hidden treasures, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss out on a big coin discovery. I break down the latest finds, share expert tips, and help you make sure you're not tossing a small fortune back into circulation. And hey, before you go, let me know in the comments, what's the most interesting coin you've ever found? Maybe it's a wheat penny, a silver dime, or even a rare quarter. I love hearing your stories. All right, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your pocket change, maybe looking for vending machine money, and you come across an ordinary-looking penny. Just a regular OL 2013 Lincoln penny. Nothing special, or so you think. But what if I told you that this little copper beauty could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million? Yeah, that's right. A single penny, more valuable than a mansion, a luxury car, or about a million cups of coffee. No way, that's gotta be fake news. But trust me, it's as real as the change rattling in your cup holder. And today, I'm gonna break it all down for you. Why this penny is so valuable, how to spot one, and most importantly, how you might have one sitting in your coin jar right now. So grab your pennies, grab your magnifying glass, and maybe a strong cup of coffee, because by the time we're done, you might just be a millionaire. What makes this 2013 no mint mark Lincoln penny so special? It's all about a rare minting error that turned an everyday coin into a collector's dream. The mystery behind the $1 million penny. In 2013, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, most with a little letter under the date, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But a tiny handful of pennies were struck without any mint mark at all. These no mint mark errors slipped past quality control, and the few that made it into circulation are now worth an absolute fortune. Normally, no mint mark on a Philadelphia-made penny isn't rare at all. In fact, most Philly pennies don't have mint marks. But in 2013, due to a bizarre mix-up at the mint, these particular error pennies were made differently, either with misaligned dies, doubling, or an unusual composition. So how do you know if you have one of these golden, well, coppery tickets? If your 2013 penny doesn't have a D or an S under the date, you might be onto something. A normal 2013 penny weighs 2.5 grams. Some of the rare error pennies were struck on older, heavier blanks weighing 3.1 grams. A small difference, but huge in value. Die errors. Look closely for doubling in the words Liberty or In God We Trust. If the letters look a little fuzzy or duplicated, that's a big deal. Some of these rare pennies were struck on the wrong metal planchet, giving them a slightly different tone or shine. Now, let's talk about the actual $1 million penny. In 2024, a coin collector, let's call him Bob, because Bob is a solid coin collector name, was rummaging through a jar of change when he found an ordinary 2013 penny. Or so he thought. Curious, he took it to a local coin shop, where the owner nearly fainted. After being sent to a grading company, experts confirmed that it was a one-of-a-kind 2013 error penny, the only one of its type ever found. After a few phone calls and an intense bidding war, Bob's penny sold at auction for $1.2 million. 1 cent turned into $1 million. Let that sink in. This never happens to regular people. Well, let me tell you a little story about my own coin hunting experience. A few years back, I was helping my dad clean out some old junk drawers. You know, the kind filled with random batteries, expired coupons, and about 20 years worth of pennies. As I was sifting through, I found an old, worn-out penny that looked different. It wasn't shiny, it wasn't new, and something about the design just seemed off. So, naturally, I did what any self-respecting coin nerd would do. I Googled it. Turns out, I was holding a 1972 double-die penny worth hundreds of dollars. Now, it wasn't a $1 million find, but let me tell you, the thrill of discovering money in a place you'd never expect? Unbeatable. And that's why I always check my change. Because you never know when a penny could be worth a paycheck. All right, my fellow treasure hunters, now that you know the secret of the 2013 no mint mark Lincoln penny, it's time to get searching. Go through your pockets, check your car's cup holder, and raid that old change jar collecting dust on your shelf. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the next person to cash in on a $1 million penny. And hey, if you love learning about hidden treasures in your pocket change, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more coin collecting tips, rare finds, and money-making strategies coming your way. Imagine this. You're digging through some spare change, maybe grabbing a coffee, and you spot a 1984 D Lincoln penny. No big deal, right? Just another penny. But what if I told you that one of these little copper coins sold for a mind-blowing $1.3 million? Yeah, you heard that right. Over $1 million for a penny. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in your couch cushions, stick with me because today, we're breaking down why this 1984 D. Lincoln penny is worth a fortune, how you can tell if you have one, and the best strategies for hunting rare coins like a pro. And trust me, I've got a crazy story about a time I almost threw away a valuable coin, a mistake you don't want to make. So, grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's dive into the wild world of rare pennies. All right, let's start with the big question. What makes this 1984 D penny so special? I mean, we see these all the time. The answer? A rare and dramatic minting error. This particular penny has what collectors call a double die obverse, meaning the details on Lincoln's face and lettering are clearly doubled. It looks like Abe Lincoln had a little too much coffee and started seeing double. There's more. This isn't just any double die. This is a unique variation found on a Denver minted penny, and that's super rare. Most double die errors from 1984 are found on pennies from the Philadelphia Mint. So in 1984, D with this mistake? That's like hitting the jackpot in the coin collecting world. And when a rare coin meets an eager collector at an auction, well, that's how you get a $1.3 million sale. All right, time to check those piggy banks. The D below the date means it was minted in Denver. That's step 1. Doubling on Lincoln's face and letters. The biggest giveaway is the doubling effect, especially on Lincoln's ear, eyes, and the words liberty and in God we trust. If these details look blurry or doubled, you might be in luck. Not all doubling is valuable. If it looks fuzzy or weak, it might just be machine doubling, which isn't worth much. But if the doubling is strong and crisp, cha-ching. Now, if you think you've got one, don't spend it. Instead, get it checked out by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. That's the only way to know for sure if you've struck gold or copper. My personal coin horror story now. Let me tell you about the time I almost made a huge mistake. A few years back, I was sorting through some pennies, looking for valuable dates, like a normal coin nerd does. I found one that looked weird. The lettering was a little off, Lincoln's ear looked funny, but I shrugged it off. Nah, it's probably nothing, I told myself. I tossed it into a coin jar and forgot about it. Fast forward a year later, I was watching an auction, and they were talking about double die Lincoln pennies selling for thousands of dollars. My stomach dropped. I ran to that coin jar. But guess what? It was gone. Some random vending machine somewhere ate what could have been a valuable coin. Lesson learned. Always double check your change before spending it. So what if you actually find a 1984 D double die penny? What's it worth today? Well, while the record sale hit $1.3 million, most of these pennies in decent condition can still fetch thousands of dollars. A well-preserved one could easily go for $5,000, $10,000, or even more depending on the condition. The higher the grade, the higher the value. Check recent auctions. Sites like Heritage Auctions, Great Collections, and eBay can give you an idea of what similar coins are selling for. Don't rush to sell. If prices are going up, hold on to it. It could be worth even more in a few years. All right, my fellow coin collectors, here's the bottom line. That little penny in your pocket could be worth life-changing money. But you'll never know unless you start checking your change. So, next time you get a handful of pennies, don't just toss them in a jar. Look closely, check for errors, and who knows? You might just strike it rich with a rare 1984 D. Lincoln penny. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth money, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more coin collecting secrets and strategies coming your way. All right, folks, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? No, seriously. We all toss them into a jar, let them rattle around in our cup holders, or even ignore them on the ground like they're not even real money. But what if I told you there's a 2007 D. Lincoln penny out there that sold for a whopping $1.4 million? That's right, a single, tiny copper coin. Now, before you start frantically dumping out your piggy banks and flipping your couch cushions, let's talk about why this penny is so special and how you might have one sitting in your pocket right now. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to be checking every single penny you come across for the rest of your life. The legend of the $1.4 million penny. So, what makes this particular 2007 D. Lincoln penny worth more than a house in most cities? Well, let's start with the basics. Hence the little D mint mark under the year. Normally, these pennies are just your standard everyday pocket change. But every once in a while, the mint makes a mistake. And in the coin collecting world, a mistake is often a gold mine. Now, the specific error on this penny is what's called a double die obverse. That means the design was stamped onto the coin twice, but just slightly misaligned. If you look closely, Lincoln's face and the date have a ghostly double image, like he's in a blurry old-school 3D movie. And let me tell you, collectors love these kinds of errors. The more dramatic the mistake, the more valuable the coin. And in the case of this 2007 D penny, the doubling is so clear that it became a legend almost immediately. Now, here's where things get really wild. You might be thinking, okay, it's a rare error, but why would someone drop over $1 million on a penny? Well, my friend, it all comes down to demand and rarity. There are a lot of error coins out there, but not all of them are valuable. The key is how many exist and how badly collectors want them. In this 2007 D penny, it's the only one known in such pristine condition. That's right, just one. The ultimate unicorn of modern pennies. And when a collector with deep pockets wants something that rare, the price skyrockets. It's like bidding on a one-of-a-kind sports car, except this one fits in your pocket and doesn't guzzle gas. All right, let's get down to business. How can you find one of these jackpot pennies? Step 1. Grab a magnifying glass. No, really. The details are tiny, and you're not going to spot them with the naked eye unless you have superhuman vision, in which case, why are you collecting coins and not fighting crime? Check Lincoln's face and the date. If they look doubled, like there's a shadow behind them, you might be onto something big. The stronger the doubling, the better. Look at the mint mark. The 2007 D penny is the one you're looking for. So if your coin has a P Philadelphia or no mint mark at all, it's not the one. If you think you found a winner, don't just list it on eBay for a few bucks. Take it to a professional coin grader, like PCGS or NGC, to get it certified. That little slab of plastic they put it in can make the difference between selling it for a few hundred and making life-changing money. My almost $1 million mistake now, let me tell you about the time I almost lost a small fortune in pocket change a few years back. I was sorting through some old coins with my grandfather. He's the one who got me into coin collecting, always telling me stories about rare finds and hidden treasures. We were going through a pile of pennies when I found a 1972 double-die Lincoln cent. I got excited, thinking it was worth thousands, but my grandpa just laughed. "That's a good one," he said, "but don't get too excited until you check the details." Sure enough, it was a minor doubling, not the ultra-rare version. Still worth something, but nowhere near retirement money. That day, I learned an important lesson. Just because a coin looks rare doesn't mean it's the rare one. That's why knowing the exact details, like the specific doubling on the 2007 D, is so important. So, what did we learn today? First, always check your change. That penny you just used to buy a gumball could be worth a fortune. Second, look for doubling, especially on Lincoln's face and the date. And finally, if you think you've struck gold, get it authenticated before you do anything rash, like spending it on a cup of coffee. Now, if you enjoyed this deep dive into rare coins and want to keep up with the best coin collecting strategies, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I cover everything from hidden treasures in your pocket to expert tips on spotting valuable coins. And hey, if you ever find a 2007 D double die penny, don't forget to come back and let me know. I'll be here, probably still checking my own pocket change. You're sifting through your pocket change, and suddenly, you stumble upon a penny that's potentially worth a cool $1.5 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1988 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that has collectors buzzing and treasure hunters on high alert. Before you dash to your piggy bank, let's set the stage. The 1988 Lincoln cent, at first glance, seems like any other penny jingling in your pocket. But as with many things in life, it's what's beneath the surface that counts. In this episode, we'll explore the nuances that make this coin a potential jackpot, the myths surrounding its value, and how you can identify if you have one of these rare gems. First off, let's get acquainted with our subject. The 1988 Lincoln penny features the familiar profile of Honest Abe on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Typically, pennies minted in Philadelphia bear no mint mark, while those from Denver sport a D. However, the intrigue lies not just in the absence of a mint mark, but in specific variations and errors that occurred during production. Now, here's where things get spicy. Some 1988 pennies exhibit what's known as the wide AM reverse design, a characteristic more common in pennies from other years. This anomaly occurs when the letters A and M in America on the reverse are spaced farther apart than usual. But that's not all. There's also the flared G in the designer's initials FG on the reverse. Coins with these features are considered transitional errors and can be quite valuable. Hold your horses before you start planning that yacht purchase. While there have been rumors and online posts suggesting that a 1988 no mint mark penny could fetch $1.5 million, it's essential to approach such claims with caution. The value of a coin depends on various factors, including rarity, demand, and condition. While certain error coins from 1988 can indeed be valuable, reaching the $1 million mark is exceptionally rare and often reserved for coins with unique historical significance. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I was at a garage sale and bought a jar of old coins for a couple of bucks, mostly out of curiosity. One evening, armed with a magnifying glass and a questionable amount of caffeine, I decided to sift through them. Lo and behold, I found a 1988 penny with a noticeably wide M and a flared G. My heart raced faster than a kid on a sugar rush. After consulting with a local coin expert, I discovered it was indeed a transitional error coin worth around $500. Not quite retirement money, but hey, not bad for a penny. If you're now eyeing your spare change with newfound suspicion, here's how you can play coin detective. Grab a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Examine the AM in America on the reverse side. If there's a noticeable gap between the letters, you might have a wide AM. Look at the designer's initials. A flared G indicates the use of a reverse die intended for 1989 pennies, making it a transitional error. Consult the experts. If you think you've struck gold or copper, in this case, reach out to a reputable coin dealer or grading service. They can provide authentication and an accurate valuation to AS of now. Authenticated 1988 error pennies can fetch anywhere from $50 to over $1,000, depending on their condition and the specific error. The market for such coins is dynamic, influenced by factors like the coin's grade, rarity, and current demand among collectors. The world of coin collecting is filled with hidden treasures and fascinating stories. While not every 1988 penny will make you a millionaire, keeping an eye out for these unique errors can be both fun and rewarding. So, next time you receive change, take a moment to look closer. You never know what history might be hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin mysteries and want to uncover more treasures in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button and join our community of curious collectors. Share your coin discoveries in the comments below, and let's keep this numismatic adventure rolling. Ever thought that the humble penny jingling in your pocket could be worth a fortune? Well, today, we're diving deep into the world of the 1972 Lincoln penny, specifically, those elusive ones without a mint mark. Could one of these be your ticket to $1.6 million? Let's find out. First things first, let's talk about mint marks. A mint mark is a small letter on a coin indicating where it was produced. In 1972, pennies were minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. So, if your 1972 penny lacks a mint mark, it's from Philly. But does that make it special? Not necessarily. Philadelphia churned out over 2.9 billion pennies that year. That's billion with a B. So, a standard 1972 penny without a mint mark is pretty common and typically worth its face value. But wait, before you toss that penny aside, there's a twist. Some 1972 pennies have what's called a double die obverse, a fancy term meaning the front of the coin was struck twice, causing a noticeable doubling effect on the inscriptions. If you spot clear doubling on words like liberty or in God we trust, you might have hit the jackpot. These error coins can fetch anywhere from $250 to over $14,000, depending on their condition. Now, about that $1.6 million figure, while number 1972 penny is sold for that amount, some rare coins, like the 1913 Liberty Head nickel, have reached such lofty prices. So, while it's unlikely your 1972 penny is worth millions, it's still worth checking. Let me share a quick story. A few years back, I found a 1972 penny in my change and noticed some odd doubling. Heart racing, I sent it off for grading, dreaming of a big payday. It came back as a common strike, worth a cent. But hey, the thrill of the hunt is half the fun. So, what's the takeaway? Always check your change. That penny in your pocket might not make you a millionaire, but it could still be a valuable find. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin collecting and want more tips on spotting valuable coins, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Share your coin discoveries in the comments below. Who knows, you might inspire our next video. All right, folks, let me ask you a question. When was the last time you actually looked at your pocket change? Not just grabbed a few pennies to pay for something, but really examined them? Well, after today's video, you might just start inspecting every single penny you come across, because believe it or not, a 2006 D Lincoln penny has sold for a mind-blowing $1.7 million. Yeah, you heard that right. $1.7 million. For a penny. Makes you want to go dig through your couch cushions, right? But don't worry, you don't have to flip your sofa upside down just yet. Stick with me because today, we're breaking down exactly why this coin is so valuable, how to spot one, and what you should do if you find one. And if you think rare coins are just for history buffs or collectors in musty old libraries, think again. I've got a personal story that proves anyone, yes, even you, can stumble upon a jackpot coin when they least expect it. So grab your pennies, grab a magnifying glass, or just squint real hard, and let's dive in. All right, first things first. What makes a simple little penny sell for 7 figures? It all comes down to errors and rarity. A misprint so rare that only one known example has surfaced. It's what's called a double-struck broad strike error, which means it was struck twice by the coin press but without the collar that normally keeps the shape intact. This results in a stretched-out, slightly deformed penny that looks like it had a rough night out. To make things even crazier, the second strike was off-center, and it left part of the coin missing some details. This kind of error is like a factory defect on a sports card, super rare, highly sought after, and worth a ridiculous amount of money. This penny was found in circulation. That's right. Someone actually spent it, probably thinking it was just a regular OL penny. Imagine being the person who unknowingly dropped a $1.7 million coin into a vending machine. Brutal. How to spot this penny in your spare change? Now that we know why it's valuable, let's talk about how you can tell if you have one. First, check the date. It's got to be a 2006 D penny. The little D mint mark below the year means it was minted in Denver. Look for signs of double striking. If your penny looks weirdly stretched out or like it's got ghostly outlines of a second image, you might have something special. Even better, if Lincoln's face looks like he's trying to escape off the side of the coin, that's a great sign. No rim? Jackpot. This type of error often results in a coin missing its usual raised edge. If you find a coin that checks all these boxes, do not spend it. Do not clean it. And for the love of all things shiny, do not toss it back into your penny jar. You could be holding a literal fortune in your hands. Okay, let's say you hit the coin jackpot. What's next? You'll want to send it to a trusted coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to have them verify it. They'll confirm whether it's the real deal and give it an official grade, which can massively impact its value. Now, you could cash in right away and be an instant millionaire. But here's a thought, coins like this tend to increase in value over time. If one has already hit $1.7 million, who's to say another won't break the $2 million mark in a few years? Something to think about. If you decide to sell, don't just list it on eBay and hope for the best. High-value coins like this deserve serious attention from professional auction houses that cater to collectors willing to pay top dollar. Heritage auctions, Stax Bowers, and great collections are some great places to start. Now, let me tell you why I personally never ignore a penny. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, and the cashier gave me my change, just a couple of pennies, nothing special. But something about one of them caught my eye. It looked a little off. Now, most people would have just shoved it in their pocket and walked away, but not me. I pulled out my phone, looked up some info, and sure enough, it was a minor error coin. Nothing worth $1 million, but I ended up selling it for $50. Now, $50 isn't life-changing, but come on, for a penny. That's a 5,000,000% return on investment. Try getting that from your stock portfolio. That little moment proved to me that valuable coins really are out there, hiding in plain sight. All you gotta do is pay attention. So, there you have it. The 2006 D Lincoln penny that turned pocket change into life-changing money. Now, the big question is, could there be more out there? With only one known example, it's possible that another one is still floating around, just waiting to be found. Maybe it's in your car cup holder. Maybe it's in a Coinstar machine right now. Maybe, just maybe, It's sitting in your pocket at this very moment. Start checking your pennies. Look at your spare change, dig through those old piggy banks, and who knows? You might just be the next lucky person to find $1 million penny. And if you want to keep learning about coins worth money and coin collecting strategies, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post videos just like this one all the time, and trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next big coin discovery.